For me, the race is in enduro, but also the race is finish the race.
Dive into the heart of the action and passion as the EnduroGP paddock revs up for a new season that promises to be even more surprising and exciting than the last.
This enduro is tough, dangerous, because what I say, sure will be crashes here.
The Paulo Duarte FIM EnduroGP World Championship is a spectacle of skill and determination that showcases the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Heightening the suspense, each Grand Prix is divided into 2 stages, ensuring that riders, support crew, and fans experience a roller coaster of emotions from the beginning to the end of every event.
It's going to be a tough weekend.
This is Enduro, eh? Let's go.
At the end of an exhilarating 2023 season, Steve Holcombe reclaims the crown of EnduroGP World Champion. This year, the ACERBIS GP of Portugal is the first stop in what will certainly be an epic saga of EnduroGP racing. History meets adrenaline as a season of spectacular Grand Prix competition kicks off in the charming city of Fafe. On Friday, preparation is key. In the paddock, the heart of the event, riders and teams fine-tune machines and strategies, anticipating the challenges to come. Local residents, young and old, are thrilled to welcome the paddock to one of the world's classic enduro destinations. A festive weekend awaits one and all in this magnificent locale with a strong connection to motorsports and to the beautiful natural environment that surrounds it. Excitement and anticipation fill the air as the riders set off on the traditional parade through the city center that signals the official opening of each round of the EnduroGP Championship. As EnduroGP tradition dictates, the AKRAPOVIC Super Test is the first challenge competitors face on the Friday evening of every event. It's a trial by fire for some and a settling of nerves for others that offers a glimpse of who the favorites may be in the 2 full stages of racing yet to come. Although not the most technically challenging, highlights of the course built by local organizer Natureza Alternativa are a major triple jump, log, and rock sections that are just tricky enough to keep most riders from throwing caution to the wind. Even without the possibility of attacking the track full gas, the tension mounts as many competitors decide to double the first 2 jumps of the triple, and the rock and log sections get slicker and slicker with each passing run.
Vamos lá, público, quero ouvir o vosso barulho, quero ouvir mais barulho, quero ouvir uma coisa do tamanho da bola. Aparece as grandes estrelas do Mundial de Enduro.
The on-site announcer adds fuel to the fire, whipping the crowd of local Enduro fans into a frenzy as adrenaline levels come to a crescendo during the head-to-head matchups featuring world champions Brad Freeman versus Andrea Verona and Josep Garcia versus Steve Holcombe. Reigning EnduroGP World Champion Steve Holcombe falls victim to the tricky rock section and loses touch with the Spaniard and a chance to finish on the evening's podium, much to the delight of Frenchmen Julien Roussali and Zach Pichon, who finished third and second respectively behind the night's big winner. Red Bull Racing KTM's Josep Garcia takes home the first AKRAPOVIC Super Test award of the 2024 season.
Vamos lá, Fafe com esse aplauso! Man on a mission, I'ma get it, you know I be on a way. Yeah. You know I be on the way.
On Saturday morning, a light rain falls and cloudy skies hang over the paddock as competitors and support crews prepare for the challenges that await out on the course. The riders' determination and focus are palpable and increase as their start times approach.
Rolling in and doing that work. Check priorities, I'm doing that first. Check's big and I'm sure that hurts, but it's checkmate, we ain't selling short. I wanna win. Don't trust me.
Relatively flat with long straights and only a few jumps, the 4.8-kilometer ACERBIS cross test is built for speed and perfectly suited for Josep Garcia to pick up where he left off after winning the AKRAPOVIC Super Test. In spite of the early morning mud, but not yet tired out from 7 hours in the saddle, the Spaniard blitzes the first test in 5:57.32, the fastest time of the day, 63/100ths of a second in front of Verona, with Holcombe slipstreaming in third.
Don't trust me.
You don't impress me, so don't test me.
So don't test me. Don't trust me.
Don't test me. Don't test me. Don't test me. Don't test me. Don't test me. Don't test me. Don't test me.
In the second lap, a slight error from Garcia leaves the door open for Andrea Verona to post the fastest time, with Watson second and Holcombe third fastest again. In the last lap, it's Verona who loses time to a crash. Holcombe holds steady in third, with Watson second fastest again, and Josep Garcia comes out on top with his second cross-test win of the stage. The dynamic and variable terrain of the 6-kilometer-long Maxxis Enduro test demands a complete change of mindset and technique from the previous special. Adding to the difficulties on the ground, due to the test's location, the fog is much more persistent and greatly impacts visibility. This is especially true in the early laps, which means riding with headlamps on, something rarely seen on the EnduroGP World Championship. Fastest every lap and continuously improving his speed, Josep Garcia is the clear standout, clocking a time of 8:11.68 on his last run through the course. Verona and Holcombe are second and third fastest on lap 1 and trade places in lap 2, but neither can get closer than 4 seconds from the hard-charging Spaniard. Only with improving visibility in the last lap does Nathan Watson come within 0.4 of a second of Garcia. Holcombe is third fastest, finally posting a time under 4 seconds behind his direct rival in E1. It's only 1.5 kilometers long, but the Polysport Extreme Test lives up to its name with its rocky terrain, narrow passages, vertical climbs, and massive boulders, rendered even more extreme by the overnight rain that has transformed the dirt tracks into muddy ruts and turned the once grippy rocks as slippery as sheets of ice. Even some of the paddock's most experienced riders fall victim to the great deal of difficulties that demand precision, technical prowess, and in some cases, even courage to overcome. Recovering from injury and off the pace in the other specials, Brad Freeman finds his groove here, posting the stage's fastest time of 3:36.26 in the first lap. But not even 2 seconds separate him from Garcia and Holcombe. Freeman wins the second go-around as well, this time by 3 seconds over Garcia, with Verona in third. Overly confident or just unlucky in the last lap, Brad falls victim to one of the special's many tricky sections, while Holcombe takes the win, 64 hundredths of a second in front of Garcia and well out in front of Watson.
Well, finally back to the EnduroGP Championship. I was training hard during this winter for sure. My goal this year was to start and trying to be at the top, you know. When you're on the bike riding, you need to go 100% if you want to win. It's not be better or worse, it's just make an evolution of yourself about experiences.
With a masterful display of enduro riding in exceedingly difficult conditions, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing's Josep Garcia claims victory in the first stage of the year at the ACERBIS GP of Portugal. Honored alongside the Spaniard on Saturday's EnduroGP podium are the 2022 and 2023 overall world champions, Andrea Verona and Steve Holcombe.
New team, new bike, new class. Definitely, I wasn't sure where I would fit in, but and we've worked on a couple of things before coming here, so I'm feeling in a really good point. You know, everybody's chasing the number one that's on my back, so it's a really good position to be in, definitely, and especially after such a strong season again last year to come back to where I know I can be. Like I say, the bike looks really good with the number one, the jersey as well, and you know, everybody's going to be chasing to try and get that number, and you know, it's my plan to attack first and try to, do what I can. I'm not sure everybody knows everything, but they basically let me be free. They signed another rider. So that was a little bit of a tricky situation, and Honda were really kind of proactive in trying to, you know, secure me as a rider, which is really nice to be kind of desired from the team. Fit really well with the kind of organization. I'm really big fan of how the Honda RedMoto team work. The people inside the bike was, as soon as I rode it, I was really comfortable. It was really a natural progression for me, especially to go on the 250, which, you know, I haven't ridden in quite a few years, the smaller bike. But yeah, honestly, after some weeks of getting used to the bike, I found I was starting to improve the speed, and coming into Portugal now, feeling really good. For sure, I've had a really good time with Beta, won a lot of championships, have a lot of really good friends there. You know, so it's always a little bit disappointing to kind of separate in that way, but the change for me was really good and kind of really good for my motivation, and showed me how kind of another team works. And kind of at the moment, the Honda team are really proactive in every area, also in the race with the training and everything. And that's really helped me to kind of take some more steps, especially now it's my 9th season, so it's difficult for me to find, you know, improvements. But yeah, this off season I've worked hard, we've worked hard as a team, and I think we're ready to show how hard we've worked. I kind of have gone back to kind of my riding of the past, let's say, you know, and I'm a lot more confident now in my ability. I'm much more kind of confident and happy on the bike. And I think you're seeing the kind of riding that I've had 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, and honestly, at the moment, I'm feeling really good, better than I have. And back then, I was really fast. So that's the plan. And honestly, now every time I get on the bike, I'm almost a bit nervous myself because I feel really good. So it's kind of, I have to calm myself down a little bit, especially in Italy as well. There's some points where I felt like I could go faster, but you know, for the first race, you need to, you know, kind of control yourself a bit. So for sure, I'm going to go as fast as I can, and I want to set the championship from my side off in a really good way. Yeah, here's the first big race of the year, and I'm looking forward to seeing where everybody is and also myself. So yeah, I'm feeling much more at home with new teammates and just looking forward to going racing.
Sunday dawns with team technicians and riders in all classes preparing their bikes for another day of tackling northern Portugal's challenging terrain. All are hoping for personal success, while a select few entertain dreams of victory and the glory of leading the EnduroGP standings at the end of the round. The sun breaks through the clouds at the end of the morning in Fafe, improving conditions on the 57.5-kilometer course as it gradually dries out. However, back out on the ACERBIS cross test, no one can touch Josep Garcia's benchmark time of 5:57.32 from stage 1. But the riding level is more even, and the fights to cross the timing beam first are more intense. Steve Holcombe's first lap time of 6:02.25 is Sunday's fastest. Garcia is 1.3 seconds behind Holcombe, with Watson hot on their heels in lap 1. The roles reverse in lap 2, with Garcia edging out Honda RedMoto riders Holcombe and Samuele Bernardini by less than 2 seconds, with Watson and Verona also finishing within 4 seconds of the test leader. Gaining confidence on his new Beta 4-stroke, Nathan Watson posts the widest winning margin of the day in the last lap, 2.45 seconds faster than Garcia, with Bernardini the only other rider under 5 seconds off the Brit's blistering pace. The Maxxis Enduro Test is once again the place where riders' full skill sets and physical endurance are put to the test, but vastly improved visibility and considerably drier conditions under tire translate to quicker laps around the track. Josep Garcia's fastest time of 8:11.68 through the course yesterday wouldn't have won the slowest lap today. Garcia bests the field in the first lap again, with a time of 8:08.55, followed by Watson and Verona, with Holcombe the closest, but still almost 5 seconds behind the Spaniard. Still enjoying his new ride, on lap 2, Nathan Watson is the fastest through the cross test on the weekend, with a time of 8:02.86. Garcia and Mikael Persson both crossed the line barely 3 seconds behind the Brit. Clearly in tune with this special, Persson wins the last Enduro test with a time of 8:07.24, while possibly benefiting from Garcia, Watson, and Holcombe being distracted by their race for the overall stage victory. competitors face the Polysport Extreme Test 3 more times, under the watchful eyes of the fans, with each obstacle an ever-evolving adversary and new battle to be won as the moisture gradually evaporates from the slippery surfaces, heating up from the warmth of the Portuguese sun. Steve Holcombe seemingly channels and improves on Freeman's form, easily besting his former teammate's Saturday benchmark with the weekend's quickest, 3:31.70, with Verona and Hamish McDonald just under 5 seconds behind, and Garcia almost 13 seconds out after a major stumble. Consistent as they come all weekend, Holcombe wins the next lap as well in 3:31.88, with Watson, Verona, and Garcia all just under 5 seconds off the Brit's steady pace. The third trip around the extreme track is Holcombe's slowest at 3:32.69, but still over a second faster than Garcia, with Watson and Verona both over 3 seconds further back.
And the winner, Steve Holcombe from Great Britain.
His last test win is the icing on the cake that ensures the multiple world champion his premier stage victory as a Honda RedMoto team rider. Standing next to the Brit on the overall EnduroGP podium are Josep Garcia and Holcombe's compatriot Nathan Watson.
And the winner, Tim Louis from Belgium.
Tim Louis doesn't lose a test all weekend in Open two-stroke and heads to the next event, leading the category standings. The Belgian leads the Open two-stroke World Cup, followed by Israel's Inbar Selinger and France's Logan Merlier. Alfie Webb wins 8 from 12 of the weekend's Open class tests, riding away from Fafe with the win on both days and the lead in the Open four-stroke standings. The Brit leads the Open four-stroke World Cup ahead of Frenchman Franck Luberiaga and Alex Pichot. Two-time Open senior champion Andrea Bellotti wins 10 of 12 tests on his way to claiming victory on both days of racing in his quest to win the category for the third time. The Italian is joined on the Open senior podium by Sweden's Patrick Andersson and Belgium's Joel Del Supech. With first and third places on the weekend, Axel Semb sends a warning shot across the junior enduro ranks that he's a force to be reckoned with this season. The Swede is joined on the junior enduro class podium by French riders Thibaut Giraudon and Antoine Alix. There is a 5-way tie on points for the lead in youth enduro, but thanks to his win in the last stage, Alberto Elgari is the current class leader. Joining the Italian on the youth podium currently are France's Romain Dagnan and fellow Italian Manuel Verzeroli. In an historic moment in the women enduro class, Rachel Gutish becomes the first American woman and only second ever US citizen to win an EnduroGP stage. The American also leads the women enduro class standings in front of Spain's Mireia Badeia and Great Britain's Rosie Rowett. Josep Garcia is the new leader of the EnduroGP standings. The Spaniard is closely followed by Great Britain's Steve Holcombe, with Italy's Andrea Verona rounding out the season's first EnduroGP class podium.
I don't expect big things. I just won't expect same as here. I had so much fun on the bike. When I have fun on the bike, I can fight for big things.
The manufacturer standings are a logical reflection of the current top three in EnduroGP, with KTM, Honda, and Gas leading the way. The first round of racing has set the bar high, with stellar performances in testing conditions. EnduroGP fans don't have long to wait for the next chapter as the paddock heads south to Valpaços for the second stop in a season-opening Portuguese doubleheader. We'll see you there.